Alright, so what we've got to do, the first thing you do is make it into a decimal. So we've got 18%, we move it 2 places to the left, and that gives us 0.18. Now, when you read that, without saying 0.18, you read it as 18/100ths. This is tenths, this is hundredths, so this is 18/100ths. So we write 18/100. And now we've written it as a fraction. But you should always write it as a fraction in simplest terms. So 18 and 100 are both divisible by 2, so that gives us 9/50. Then we've got 12%. We move it over 2 places. That gives us 0.12. Remember, you read this as 12. 2 decimal places makes it hundredths. 12 hundredths. Both those are divisible by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 100 divided by 4 is 25. Then we've got 45%. Move the decimal over 2 places. And you've got 0.45, which is 45 hundredths. Both these are divisible by 5. So that gives you 9/20. And our last one down here is a little bit different because it has a decimal place in it. So I'm going to tell you what to do with this. First thing you do is move the decimal over 2 places, which gives you 0.375. Now this time you've got 3 decimal spots on this one, so you're going to have tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So you write 375/1000. Both these are divisible by 125, and that gives you 3/8. Okay, remember, always try to write it in simplest form. Okay? So whenever you look at these, got 2 decimal places. Two spots right here. 18, it'll be over 100. 12, it'll be over 100. 45, it'll be over 100. 37.5, that 0.5, the decimal place, tells you to add a 0 on the bottom over here. Okay? Try these and see what you come up with. There is one that might trick you up, so be careful. Pause the video and get back with me. Okay, we've got 25%. Move the decimal 2 places to the left. We've got 0.25. That's 25/100, which gives us 1/4. Did you get that? All right, we've got 68%. Move the decimal over 2 places. That gives us 0.68. 68/100. Both of them are divisible by 2, so that gives you 34/50. And look, both of these are divisible by 2, so that gives you 17/25. Okay? Now, 12.5%. What did I tell you about whenever you have a decimal place? That means you're going to add something to the bottom, okay? Remember, you add another 0. So on the bottom of this one is not going to be 100. What's the bottom of this one going to be? Right, 1,000. But you look here and you go 2 places. That gives you 0.125. That's 125 thousandths. And both of these are divisible by 125, and that gives you 1/8. And finally, the 120%. Move the decimal over 2 places. 1, 2. That gives you 1.2. So that is 1 2/10. Okay? 1 decimal place. 1 2/10. There's the 1 2/10. So we write 1 2/10, which reduces to 1. 2 is divisible by 2. 10 is divisible by 2. So that gives us 1 1/5. Now, when it says ordering rational numbers, the best thing that you can do is put them all in the same format. So you can change them all to percent, all to decimal, or all to fraction. I find the easiest way to do it is to change them all to decimals. Okay. So the first one is already a decimal. We've got 0.52. This one we move over 1, 2 places to the left, and we get 0.37. Then we got 0.19. This one we go 1 divided by 400. 400 doesn't go into 10. 400 does not go into 100. 400 does go into 1,000 2 times. That gives you 800 with 200 left over. Bring down a 0. And 400 goes into 200 5 times. That gives us 2,000. So we've got 0.0025. Now if I'm putting these in order from least to greatest, this is 0.0025, which is smaller than any of these right here. So that means 1 over 400 goes first. 0.19 is smaller than either of these, so we put 0.19. 0.37 is the next smallest one, and that was 37%. And finally, we've got 0.52. And put my 0 over here. And that's how you do that. Put them all as decimals and then put them in order. So your last thing that you have to do now is your turn. Put these in order from least to greatest. Pause the video. Come back to me. So we got 8 over 25. We go 8 divided by 25. We go 25 goes into 80 3 times. 3 times 75. 25 is 75 with 5 left over, and 25 goes into 50 2 times. And 2 times 25 is 50 with 0 left over, so that's 0.32. This, you move the decimal 1, 2 places to the left, and you get 0.29. Here you've got 0.33, and this is very tricky here because a lot of people, you know that 1/3 is 0.33. But you got to remember that 1/3 is actually, 1 divided by 3. 3 goes into 10. 3 times 3 is 9 with 1 left over. 3 goes into 10 3 times with 9 becomes 9 and 1 left over, and it repeats. So it's 0.3 repeating. So this is 0.333. Okay, because you got to carry it out another spot because they were equal. And this one is 0.330. So now if we're putting these in order from least to greatest, the least one was the 29%. So we mark that one out. Next was this one, 8 over 25. Okay, which is least, 330 or 333? Right, 330. So that means that 0.33 would be next, and the last one would be 1/3. Okay? Good job. Hope you do a great job on your assignment.